All right. Thank you, William. Appreciate you coming over. I'm excited, guys. I got the man himself, William Johns. Lately, in the last few months, it's like everywhere I see, there's William Johns there. It's like SEO conferences, Facebook groups, somebody saying something is like crazy. So I appreciate your time, William. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me, Ganesh. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So this is basically a series of interviews I'm doing just to do some fundraising for a charity, an orphanage I support in Sri Lanka. I'd like to start with maybe just to get to know your story a bit. Everybody knows now William Johns and SEO, but who were you? Maybe we'll start there. Like, who were you before SEO? Like, your past life, and then we'd like to know your journey, and then we'll get into other things. How about that?
It sounds good. So I got into SEO. It wasn't like I sat down. Most people don't think sat down, but I didn't get into SEO because I wanted to. It was kind of thrown at me. I actually originally was a assistant chief financial officer. I did accounting. I come from an accounting background. I did that for a bit. What would happen is I'd clean up someone's books and get fired. Clean up someone's books, get fired. Clean up someone's books, get fired. And you kind of get sick and tired of that. So I said, what can I do? And I went to a college named Kaiser University, Jacksonville, Florida. My professor is John Downs. And I didn't even finish the college because we got to one part in which he said, hey, I'm going to show you how to make websites. And whoever builds a website and actually makes the most, sells it, someone actually makes the most money will win the prize. So, well, I sold it for the most. I did a dog breeding website. And even at that time, if I look back on it, I'd already started into recruiting and finding other people to help me because this was a mass website. I didn't want to build up hundreds of thousands of pages. So I actually had some of the students in the class, I paid them to help me build up other pages
You were an entrepreneur back then.
from the get-go. And then my teacher as well, he was an entrepreneur, so that kind of helped, and he kind of pushed me. He also pushed me into weight loss and other stuff too back in the day. Is actually why I'm getting in personal training, and I have a whole bodybuilding background, that sort of thing. But then, so I was married at the time, and I wound up getting out of, because we went through some rough times. So I said, I need to come home so my wife can go work. And I dropped out of school. But then at the time, I took a sabbatical. And then I started picking up clients off of Craigslist.
This is
And
for
then
accounting?
no, this is actually for web design because I took the web design class. And then it was like, oh shit, you can actually make money doing this. I didn't know nothing about any of that stuff. I didn't know nothing about digital marketing or nothing. And then I started building websites. I had a client named Ron Marcus. He's a real estate investor, and he found me. I built him a site. He's a nice Jewish guy. And then he had another Jewish friend, and that guy introduced me to his name's Brad. Forget the last name, but he owned Chastain Jewelers out of Georgia, and he had me build a site. Build a site. This is a Magento. Way before, we had Dreamweaver and all that. Everything was hand coded, none of this WordPress crap templates, none of that stuff. And so did that. And after I built the site, he said, hey, do you know how to get me on the top 3 of Google? And I said, well, how much does it pay? And he said $2,000. I said, yes, I do. I knew nothing about Google, knew nothing about ranking, didn't even know what SEO was. Went home and went on to Google and said, what is SEO? How to do SEO? And this is before Chris Palmer, Craig Campbell, and all these big ass channels where you could actually learn it, and had people like yourself teaching it in local SEO Facebook groups. I would have, we didn't have all that. So that's how I got started in SEO, did that. And then once I got that client, of course, I didn't want to go back to school. So I never finished school. I completely dropped it because I was making more money than my own professor at the time doing freelance work. And what drove me, one of the things I still like to this day is who's in the top 3, find them, beat them. That's what drives me, and it wasn't so much about, finding out or nerding out on SEO and finding out how things work. It's just, beating the people that are in top 3. This is back before Panda and Penguin, so Didn't have any of that crap. I used to literally sell backlinks and stuff off of eBay and places like that. And I even just a couple of $100, 800, $900 off of eBay. But that to someone that was a full-time worker and you're making $700 in a week is a lot of damn money. So that's how I got started SEO, really. I did freelance and on and off throughout my life. And last job I held was at 𝐸med Medical, and I did medical SEO. The guy found me, and I did about 80 something websites with SEO for him, everything from his main websites to blogs, and created a PBN network for him for his medical site. So
those were the days when I still use PBNs, but I remember the Panda Penguin day. I got into SEO 2014, just after Panda Penguin.
yeah.
It was a much easier with GMBs and
Yeah, I mean, I remember people would ask you how many backlinks is it going to take to give me a page one. I could go and then I use, if you ever remember EVO brute force with Pete,
yes,
and I would just do that and you'd be on page one. It wouldn't be a matter of you got to do this and none of this fucking semantic crap and none of the real high quality purchase intent blogs and none of that. Just throw some shit up there, use some, keyword stuff, use the same
yeah,
color as your background, all that stuff. You can still, a lot of that stuff actually still works. It's just a
yeah. In the
matter
local
of just be
space,
very careful.
yeah, in the local space it
Yeah.
works. You just got to be careful. You're right.
I know you use PBNs and people say, oh, PBNs don't work. And I'm like, no, they do work. It doesn't matter how you're using them.
The term PBN is such a misunderstood word.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I know, I
Yeah.
know. I'm big on PBNs. Even for my personal injury lawyer clients, I use PBNs. Anyways, so good stuff. So you started freelancing, you started putting up this website, you started learning SEO, you started doing all this. So
Yep.
you pretty much started growing an SEO agency.
Yeah, I mean, I never started an agency honestly till I got to the Philippines.
Okay,
I
so
was always a freelancer.
why and how and when did you move to Philippines? Why, how, when, all of that?
So I did prior. So I used to freelance, and then the job I got at 𝐸med, I originally went to them and they said, "Hey, we'd love to hire you, and we'll call you." Well, that never happened. They never called me. It went on because he's building out a new facility and he didn't have the money to afford me at the time. And when I say that, I mean he definitely couldn't afford me now, but he couldn't afford me back then when it was only, let's say, $12, $13 an hour. And then he wound up, the guy that was, in that position quit because he had an issue. And then I got put in that position. Well, at the time, during this time, I weighed about close to 400 pounds, really close to 400 pounds. And I got the job there, worked there for a while. I met my wife from the Philippines, and still, we wound up, most people don't know, is we were seeing each other, then we broke it off, and we never talked to each other for like 3 years, stuff like that. But we have eventually obviously got back together. But the thing is, during that time I wound up, when me and her got together, she came over to the States. I wound up having bariatric surgery or weight loss surgery. I had a gastric sleeve. And I went from about 400 pounds to about 220.
Okay, wow.
And then, at that time when I had that surgery, I moved to West Virginia. West Virginia is a great place to move as long as you have work. It's like the poorest county in West Virginia is where we lived as Hampshire County or Paw Paw, West Virginia. Literally might have 10,000 people there, maybe. Okay.
Wow.
But I had two biggest clients pay me about $7,000 combined and lose them both. Mind you, at the time when I started really getting into it, having money, I had a truck, then I got a Chrysler 300, then I bought a Hummer. So I had all these car notes. Then I also had the house payment or rental payment of $1,600 and all this stuff. So when I lost that work, at the time as well, I was also going to auctions, buying auction stuff, flipping auctions, or flipping things I bought at auctions, and then saving that cash up. But then those 2 clients left. I fell into depression and was like, what am we going to do? I got 3 kids and a wife, and I mean, $7,000.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this content, I'd love to take just 60 seconds of your time and share something very close to my heart. You see, I was born in the beautiful country of Sri Lanka. I was fortunate to escape the civil war that plagued that country for many years. While the country has enjoyed peace for 15 years now, the effects of that conflict are still deeply felt, especially by children who lost their parents, siblings, entire families. But I'm not just here to ask for a donation. I'm here offering something valuable in return, an incredible opportunity that could positively impact your own life. I partnered with over a dozen top-tier industry experts in SEO, online marketing, direct mail, YouTube ads, copywriting, entrepreneurs, and more. These aren't just any experts. They are 7- and 8-figure business owners. They've built multi-million-dollar businesses. But more importantly, each of them have also helped countless people achieve success. By supporting this cause, you'll not only be making a difference to these children, but you'll also gain access to exclusive knowledge, secret trainings from these industry leaders. As a matter of fact, I was able to even twist their arm to give away exactly what's working right now on YouTube ads, in search engine optimization, and even in depth in things like how to get clients, schema markup, cold email, a lot more. Some of them even agreed to give one-on-one mentorship and group coaching opportunities to those who donate, all available to those who support this charity. Click the link to join the waiting list, where you'll get access to all this training and more. You will receive an email with a link to donate and unlock this exclusive content. Thank you again.
Freaking just in car notes alone, I had almost $2,000. Then throw on the house payment. So you're talking about $5,000-6,000 a month is what you need to survive.
Right.
And she calls her mom and she's like, we'd already bought plane tickets. I already planned a vacation, not to move. And then essentially went and said, hey, what are we going to do? We packed up everything. We had everything shipped over, and we decided to stay there because over here, at least when I first came here, is a little hollow block house, third world country. Everybody knows, developing country, whatever you wish to call it.
Right.
Slept with Mickey Mouse, no air con.
Right.
Didn't have all the conveniences, but I didn't have bills. My electric bill was probably $40 a month. My water bill was probably $10 a month. And I lived on a farm with goats and chickens and cows. And
that's the new American dream now.
yeah, because
Make money in
it's
dollars.
stressless. You have no stress. You don't got to worry about all the crap. I definitely don't have to worry about all y'all's politics, and stuff. That's a whole nother thing. But when I came over here, then my daughter got married. Make this short, but she gets married. The guy goes, hey, what do you want to start as a business? My wife said laundry shop. He gave us $8,000. We started a laundry shop. I paid him back on the loan. And then at that time, that's right before that, I met a guy named John Signey. I went online. Hey, she said, why don't you try to find clients? I had like 4 clients left that were only paying me like $100-200. So I made like $700 all together during that time. And I'm supporting doing what we can, honestly. And then, so we started a laundry shop. COVID comes along and kills the laundry shop. Prior to that, I met a guy named John Signey, and I found him in Facebook groups, and he hired me to do agency work or freelance work for someone in the United States in California. And when I did that, that's when I discovered, I didn't even know that the Philippines was a VA capital of the world. I didn't know nothing, what a virtual assistant remote worker was. I knew what Fiverr was. I knew what Legit was. I knew what freelancing was. But I didn't know there were actual people that worked at, in my case, 11 p.m. Philippine time to 7 a.m. So this is when I discovered what it meant to actually work late when everybody else is sleeping and stuff like that. And when I met him, he even asked me, he said, why don't you start an agency? You've been doing SEO for 20 years. And the rest is history.
Let me stop it right there. I love that. I really appreciate you being authentic with saying you went through all these, issues, money issues. Because a lot of people, they have the success now, but they don't talk about where they came from, right? And I think that it's so important because I've been through that. I can especially relate when you say whatever you want to call it, third world country, just coming up
Yeah.
country, whatever. I was born in Sri Lanka. I grew up in India. I slept with the roaches and the mouse.
Yeah.
Right?
You
Every
just
year,
joking, like, you know what a dirty kitchen is, right?
absolutely, yeah,
And
yeah.
when we didn't have aircon, we had a ceiling fan, and we'd sleep out in the dirty kitchen, and all it had was a screen in. Why? So we could actually sleep, because I was a big boy, and so if I don't have AC, I'm hot. So I'd
Uh,
sleep out there during the day and stuff. My daughter, I remember she get these. We don't have ice cubes in developing countries. We have
yeah.
ice sticks,
Yes,
where you put it in a bag, and
I
she'd
know.
sleep with that on her chest so you could sleep at night. I mean,
I
so
grew up.
I love those things.
I
So
know.
those are my fondest memories.
I grew up in India. We did not have air conditioning
Yeah.
ever. I came here to US when I was 22. I may have seen, friend's house, relative's house, where there's an independent AC unit in one of the rooms.
Yeah.
Now it's more common, at least when I was growing up in the 90s. But then every year I go to Sri Lanka because I got family there. I'm
Yeah.
going there next month, as I was telling you, right? Um, it is, it's a couple of things, right? I can relate to so much over here. I had some health issues last year, stomach up, whatever I ate, I was like, my stomach was not agreeing, all of I went to 3 different hospitals, all of that in Michigan. Then I was losing weight, all of that. I go to Sri Lanka in July, okay, 3 4 months ago. I come back. I was there for 3 weeks. I come back. All the stomach issues gone. That's what I was like, And then I started hearing stories of a lot of people who go to Europe or the Philippines or Asia somewhere, Sri Lanka, and just eating more clean food there, right? And I was still eating food there. It's not that I was not eating anything, right? And so health-wise, $1 is 300 Sri Lankan rupees, right? I could have a king's meal for $6, like Shangri-La Hotel, one of the biggest hotels in the world, really, right? Their buffet, if you want to just taste each of the item in a buffet, in the buffet, you need 3 days. You're gonna, that's like $20, maybe 18.
My wife would love that type of buffet.
You should
She
go
loves.
there.
I like regular restaurants. She likes buffets. So
Go to Sri Lanka Shangri-La buffet. There's a whole, a size of I don't know, 1,000 square feet of Asian food, right? Chinese food, 1,000 square feet Indian food, like American, this, that, and there's like 3,000 square feet, square meters or whatever square feet of chocolates. It's crazy, right?
yeah.
But I can absolutely now 2024, end of 2024, there's a lot of people slowly realizing, especially in the SEO online marketing field, this is remote. You can have a few clients in the US and the UK and Australia, and if you can live in Philippines, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, you can live a good life. It's not that every part of Philippines or Sri Lanka is dangerous or
it's honestly, it's like I've had people. I remember this, not to get political or nothing, but when Trump came out and it was like, when he first went to get elected, I have a pastor friend of mine over there. He's like, we're going to make America great again. And my question was always, when was America great? If you actually know your history, not to put down anything, but it was like, the stuff you went through. And then the fact there are a lot of people that whatever country, it's the pride. And they say, this is the best country in the world. And I hate to burst their bubble. It's not the best country in the world. If you especially, I've seen like Lane, he lives in Colorado. Well, if you get someplace where you can be more physically active and it kind of forces you to, you're going to lose weight, you eat better and things of that nature. Same thing in the Philippines, same thing in Thailand and other places, India, places like that. You might quote unquote be in a developing country. But the fact is, could I live the way I live over in the States? Yes, I could. Would I have as much? No, because the money doesn't go as far. I would rather live somewhere like over here where, $1 is anywhere from 56 to 58 pesos on any given day. And, the
and this,
conversion rate's
it's a good point.
ridiculous.
It's got pros and cons in the sense, some people may say, yeah, it's easy for us because we are in the online marketing SEO.
Yeah.
I can get a client in the US and live in Philippines or Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Well, for the average Filipino, the average Sri Lankan, right? You know
Yeah.
how it is. It's not the easiest.
It's
So
hard. It's harder to do. And I tell people all the time, say that, you know, quite honestly, I don't believe in this thing called white privilege until I married my Filipino wife. Then I discovered what white privilege was. And I actually opened my eyes to a lot of the racism and different things that I was seeing once I got married to her in the States. And it's unfortunate, but even in the online world, it's like if you put me up to do a sale, I'll close them generally 50-60% of the time. If I put someone that's Asian or brown skinned up, they're not going to close them. They generally won't. And it's sad. A lot of times I made a post even the other day. I said, what's the worst thing about that you found in hiring virtual assistants? One of the guys I know of which is a virtual assistant, agency. And he said their accent. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So your accent is what, you're most worried about, not the work. I can understand with a call center. I can
right.
understand with voice. You need someone that's clear English, but when it comes to, like, say, SEO, web design, something like that shouldn't even be a problem. And what blows my mind away, even when I started the white label agency, is everybody talks about, oh, I'm an amazing SEO. I know the method that will get you ranked. And honestly, if I was to tell them, I'd say, honestly, it's bullshit. You don't know the method to make shit rank. Your team knows the method. Your team is the one doing the work. And most of the time, the teams are in India, Bangladesh, or the Philippines, not in the United States.
Absolutely.
And then what they'll do is they'll turn around. I sold it for $2,000 and they turn around and pay their team, $400 or whatever. It's not bad. It's just, for me, it's like, be honest. One of the reasons why I show our teams all the time is I want to say, hey, I not just say I have an agency. Here's my agency. Here's me training them. Here's us, like today, doing the Halloween thing. It's more transparency just to show people,
Right.
these are the people that are actually doing the work. It's not me. I tell people all the time, if it's for my team, I would, if it wasn't for my team, we wouldn't have what we have and the
So
lifestyle we
when did
have.
you, yeah, no, I get that. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but so you do the freelancing and then COVID hits, and
Yep.
then you were saying, is that when you started?
So
What was the
that's
next
when,
step? Did you
yeah,
start
that's when
a,
my
yeah,
wife told me she told me, why don't you go try to get more clients? I found John. He gave me my first client. And then the method that I teach, I call it the C's method, but basically it's get as many eyeballs on you as possible. And how do you come into a niche? Let's say local SEO. Like me, I was a nobody. I'm still a nobody in my mind. But the thing is, how do you come into a niche where no one knows you and you come in and dominate the niche?
okay.
Right. And that's what I teach in my coaching. And that's what I did myself. And the reason why I could teach is because I did it. I went from 4 clients to over 50 clients in less than 90 days. Now we have over 3,000 clients.
Wait, you went from
Okay.
4 clients to 50 clients in 3 months?
3 months.
Wow.
And the method I teach is so simple. Most people are just like, and when I started doing it, someone asked me, they said, I forget the guy's name. It'll come onto the tip of my head as I think about it, but he's in ClickFunnels and he taught the same method I use. Basically, use your Facebook as a website. Call to actions, cover photo, what are you posting, all those things. And I go through that, how to go in Facebook groups. Like, I know you're a Facebook group owner. I'm a Facebook group owner. We get some of the worst things, if I could teach specifically Indians and Pakistanis and everything. Don't come in someone in the box saying, hey, sir, I can help you. Hey, sir, I got blog posts. Hey, sir, I got PBN links. No one gives a shit. And it's the same thing. And it's not just them, it's everybody does it because they're desperate for work. There's a low threshold or barrier to entry in SEO. And that's why you get so, in my opinion, why you get so many douchebags half the time in SEOs, because there's no qualifications for it. Just a lot of people come in and they want to make money. So they come in and they just say, hey, I can help you or whatever. And what I teach is no, find the question, tag the person that made the question, really give them actionable steps, show like you actually care. Don't ask for nothing. If you do that enough, which I was doing 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, then people start going, you know what? I don't even need to post the question. William's always in here answering. He's obviously an expert in the group. The groups haven't made me an expert. It's just by going in there and giving value. And I know everybody uses that stupid ass term is value, but that's what value is. It's actually caring about other people, helping them out with no, intentions. No, I want something back. It's what'll happen is if I give enough information away, people will come to me. And that's what started to happen. People start coming on DM Messenger and, talking to me and everything. And I've closed, and people couldn't say, well, you only sell SEO for $200. No, I've sold SEO for up to $100,000 and closed them in direct messenger, in Facebook, no Zoom calls, no one-on-ones, third world country. Okay. So,
Wow.
we've done all that. And, do I get on phone calls? Yes. Do I like getting on phone calls? No, not anymore. But the thing is, did it all from third world country. Now we have over 3,000 clients. Now I went from one agency to a second agency, so we also have Outsourced Sharks, which is our virtual assistant company. Then I have Rank Fortress. Then I have William Jones Coaching. So I also do coaching as well. So we kind of, and we do conferences, as you know, but the thing
Right.
is,
So you have two agencies. One is
Yep.
SEO agency, one is a VA agency.
Yep.
Okay, and then you do your William Jones coaching.
Yep.
And then you have conferences you do.
Yep.
That's a lot on your plate. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
we got
so,
my partner, Kirk and Esther. They mainly handle WhatCon. I pretty much just assist as needed. If it
nice.
wasn't for them, I've told people all the time, I don't like speaking. I don't want to speak, but I'll speak only because people say, hey, you need to get out and speak. It's very draining. I've talked to Craig Campbell about this, and he'll tell you that it's not for everybody because you're going to burn out, and everybody thinks it's
crazy you mentioned
amazing.
that. When you invited me to talk on World of Search conference, up until then, I've always been declining. I don't like this. I'm a private person too. I got two kids, wife, family. The reason I got into SEO so I could leave my job is not to get another job. I just love to do stuff that I like to do, right? And then I have this Facebook group. I have a SEO coaching program. I have an inner circle mastermind. And lately, last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, really, people have been like, you should put there's so much value in this mastermind, not just SEO, we do so much other stuff. You should put a live event. And I talked to a couple of people running live events. Maybe I should talk to you also. And both of them were like, it's a lot of work. If you want to think twice before you do that,
I mean, I remember Craig Campbell and Chris Palmer, they put together an event in Vegas. And I remember Chris saying, he's like, pretty much, he said, that their event was child's play compared to what we did, because we have a full video crew, production crew. You're talking about in an SMX conference center, was equivalent to a huge, conference area, tables, besides the tables and the beautifulness and the whole program and everything, and the dinner and the lunch and the masterminds. And I mean, it's a lot of work. A lot of work. And it's honestly, a lot of times you go, is this even worth it? And it's the main reason I do it is to reach out to the Filipino people. It's honestly not for the foreigners. I don't do it for that reason whatsoever. I do it for the Filipino people and to help them, because my dream is to see the Philippines recognized as a first world nation, and to help them get out of going and doing. My wife, she was what we call an overseas Filipino worker. So a lot of Filipinos will leave here and go to Dubai and Saudi and Japan and Tokyo and work, and then send money back. And they only make, let's say, $500 doing it. To me, it makes no sense. When you can get 4 clients and make $2,000, $3,000 a month working for yourself. Okay.
That is so true. I just want to quickly interrupt on that, because I have 13 VAs, right?
Yeah.
11 of them in the Philippines, 1 in India, 1 in Bangladesh. One of them, she's been with me from the Philippines for 7 years now. One of my first hires.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I pay her the basic, whatever the standard is. But she makes anywhere from 3 to 10x pretty much every month through commissions and all that, because she now knows the SEO industry, and I mean, she can get clients, right? we started the rank and rent website for her, right? Because I want that's one of the
I'm actually what's interesting because you're the rank and rent guy. You're the rank and rent king from everything I ask anybody who should we have a rank and rent that's Ganesh. But one of the things we actually just told all of our staff, which I know it's crazy, but if you have a business idea or you have anything that you would like to do that you don't have the funds to do and you need a partner, talk to me and my partner. We'd love to partner with you. One of which we've talked about is going and saying, hey, what do you think about, because I've been approached on buying recently someone's 600 something damn rank and rent websites, and I'm thinking, why don't we just build our own rank and rents? Because we are, I know GMB verification, GMB verification and stuff like that, and we could do that, and then ranking the websites and sell the leads, and then share the profit with the entire team and stuff like that.
That's a
So
great idea. That's something similar we are doing now in my agency, right? So if you break it down, the most difficult part of the rank and rent is maybe getting a GMB, and that too you can get it. You can work with the business on different ways, but let's just say leave it, right? Just focus on the a website.
Yeah.
Reaching out to a business owner, you can do it through cold email, right? Send a blast, and there'll be a couple of people ready. Putting up a website don't put up a dentist or an HVAC or a lawyer website. Go for this drywall repair, the smaller cities, smaller niches. Everybody wants businesses, right? Put up a website that even if it generates 4, 5, 6, 7 calls a month, the business owner can make $1,000, $2,000 a month. He'll be so happy to pay you $200. $200 a month, small rank and rent site. So that's what I'm doing. It's nothing for the business owner. So my VA, that's what she just followed my process because she knows the process now. She routinely sends out cold emails. Sometimes just picks up the phone call and talk. And she's not even a cold caller. She's just my PM, project manager, right? And then my web developer does the website, we rank it, and $200 a month, that's half their basic salary there.
Yeah.
Two of those, right? So if you want to do something like that, the best thing you can do for your VAs would be, just have them identify a business owner, right? Get a $200 to $300 a month rank and rent going, and that's going to pay a lot for them, right?
Yeah, I mean, $200 over here is equivalent to over 10,000 pesos, about 12,000 pesos.
Yep.
And give you an example of how far that goes. Most rent over here is 15,000 pesos.
Yeah.
That's if you rent a fully furnished 1 or 2 bedroom condo. So it's not the best. It's like even us, we're talking about the first year, we're coming up with a benefit package in which me and my partner will pay for it, and we're just going to give it to them. They don't have to contribute or nothing. We're always trying to find different ways to help them. And my wife said something earlier today. You might know what dried fish is. Most average person don't know, but think of the poorest food you could possibly ever eat.
Dry fish.
And dried fish.
I was born in Sri Lanka. I know that. Yeah.
So one of the things she said, if you're eating steak and your employees are eating dried fish, something's wrong.
Right.
Which, if you're eating like a king and everybody else is, still poor, then what's the point of you running your agency?
That's the great point. The employees, the people in my team, I can tell you stories, right? I don't want to waste time. Right? We help them. One is building a house. One's traveled for the first time in an airplane.
Yeah.
One's paying off.
Yeah, we do a lot of the similar stuff. It's like the greatest joy for me, honestly, is like speaking at conferences. It's not me speaking, it's me having one of my teammates come and speak. It's me going and, oh, this teammate never used to have running a water or electric, and now they have electric and water, and they're building their own house, or they have their own vehicle and stuff like that. That's what really drives me anymore, because as you've seen so much drama and stuff out there, it's like, if it was for that, I would just quit.
So I'd like to pick your brain a little bit on this. That's not just useful for me, but I'm sure a lot of people listening too, right? I teach this, I do this, and a lot of people who are getting into SEO, even if they are new, they want to learn a few things, but eventually their mind is open. Wait, I can hire a VA in the Philippines who is even more skilled than me in putting up a website, right? And I can focus my time on getting clients, right?
Correct.
Because you have a VA, can you give some insights into, okay, your VA agency, the average, the salary? How do how do we vet things out? How do we
Yeah, I mean,
on that?
so the average person that you're going to go and hire, let's say you go, I want a VA, and
Mm-hmm.
you find someone and you hire the VA from this headhunter agency,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or, you know, you have the same situation. That person doesn't live here. That person hasn't trained the person. Okay. Like the next one would be, let's say you don't go through an agency or a headhunter. You go and try to find one yourself. Well, now I know you're great at SEO, but I would ask you is how much is your time worth, Ganesh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's worth $500 an hour, which is what I would think you're probably about worth, you want to make $1 million a year, then I would say you should stop training virtual assistants. You should stop training staff because your time is worth more than that. So where we come in with outsourced sharks is, and how we're different is, there's not one SEO out there that can say that I'm aware of that they live in the Philippines, they have an office in the Philippines, and they go to that office and train and sit down with their team on SOPs. Let's say you hired one of our virtual assistants and something went wrong or they didn't do something right. Ganesh messages me and I can go to the office and sit down with them and say, that's actually not the way you did it. You used the wrong keyword and this is what we want to do. Or, hey, you didn't stack the cloud stack right. This is how we do it. I'm the only SEO that I know in the field that does that. They can, everybody else can, I get on Zoom and I train them. There's something much more different than
Sure.
sitting down with your team than getting on Zoom, no
So if
matter
I were
what
to
you want to
come to
believe.
you, if I were to come to you, I have a mastermind of people looking for these services.
Yep.
I tell them to go to onlinejobs.ph all the time, right? But if I were to come to you, can you give me average, I don't know,
Average
salaries?
price. So
Yeah,
average price will
content
is
writer, SEO
yep,
manager.
20 hours. So basically anybody and everybody in any net is so local SEO, on-page SEO, technical SEO, off-page SEO, go high level, websites, all that stuff. 20 hours is only $200. 160 hours is 880. Now, if you wanted what we call an executive assistant, which is like someone that has a good year plus experience, has been with the company for a while, those are going to be 1280 for 160 hours. So a
So,
full-time employee, which would cost you around $7,000 a month in the States, over here, they have a degree, they can speak English, and they're costing you basically a fourth of what it would cost you in the States. The one question we get all the time, and people will say this, is to be like, well, why are you paying them only a fourth of what they're worth? And mine, I would tell you, is this. So even in the United States, you only pay someone what they're worth based on where they live. Because you have something called cost of living. Let's say if I went to California, it costs a hell of a lot more to live in Cali than it does in Jacksonville, Florida. Same thing with Washington. Same thing over here. So the
go to
cost of
Akron,
live,
Ohio.
yeah,
Go to Akron,
yeah,
Ohio.
yeah, the cost of living over here is not comparable to the United States. Even in Manila, in the developed area, I can live like a king for, let's say, $3,000 a month. You know, in the province, it takes basically $1,000. If you were to hire a VA, train them and everything, and they're in the province, you paid them $1,000, they're living like a damn king. Meaning they have housemaids, they have people that clean their house, cook for them, driver, all that stuff. All bills are paid. They can go on vacations, the islands, stuff like that. I mean, so I don't say go for the least, but when we get them, for example, in our agency, when we get them, they know nothing. They know nothing about SEO, GMB, any of that stuff, web design. We take them in. I train them. My right hand also trains them. And we then scale them up. And as we scale them up, we give them different benefits and we give them different things. Like I just said, we're mentioning doing a benefits package, which I can't, just in case some of them are watching, I don't want them to know until January, but they're going to come with different things. Even today, you know, we gave them money and some other things. We're always trying to recognize them because we know without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do, go where we go, and have the lifestyle we have.
Do you also have salespeople? Do you train on that sales?
No,
cold calling? No, okay,
nope,
just SEO
mm-mm,
and related. Okay, good.
nope. And now, mind you, my customer service person has been closing new deals probably three in the
I've been
past
seeing a
week and a
post.
half.
I've been
Yeah.
seeing a Facebook post on that.
Yeah, she's been doing that, and it's like I might just have to start putting you on sales calls. You generally, me or my partner get on the sales calls, you
Hmm.
know, and I do my best to close people in DM because I just don't like doing calls.
I'm
That's
similar
why
to that. That is so true. Yeah.
I used to do calls. If you look back at my old calendar when I got started 3 years ago over here, I slammed like 10 calls a day, 5 days a week.
Hmm.
That's why. And then whenever I go on sabbaticals, you'll see where I don't do any calls. And now I'll take probably 4 or 5 calls, maybe a week, maybe, and they're paid calls. They're not free. Even if you want to outsource to me, it's not free. I won't
Right.
get on the phone because I charge to get rid of the tire kickers. Mainly not for the little $20 or $100. It's to make sure you're actually serious about your business because a lot of people say they are, but they're really not.
Hmm. I understand.
So
No, I love that. One of the things, and this is informative because a lot of times I discuss SEO and what is working and ranking and all that on page and off page. But I have this conversation with you. We're having, I love it. We're growing an agency with the VAs and all that. It does make sense because I have spent a lot of money and a lot of time in the last 10 years hiring these VAs, training them, and a lot of them are good, and a lot of them I have to fire because they may not be the
yeah,
best fit or whatever. 'Cause I don't know, I did not know, and only now I'm also getting better at the hiring process and training and building a relationship and all that. And as a business owner, there's only so much I can do. Should I focus on the client? Should I do the fulfillment? Should I take care of my team? I can't be spread thin if I want to scale.
yeah.
So it just makes sense.
Yeah, one of the things you start with, and one of the things I teach people is like, okay, well, how much you want to make a year? And if you were to tell me 1 million, which is what most people say, take the million, divide it up by 365 days in a year,
Okay.
divided by how many hours you want to work in a day, and that tells me how much you need to make per hour.
So let's
If
take a look
you
at that right now. 100,000, a million, I'm thinking by 365 is
mhm,
2,739 by, let's say I want to work 4 hours a day. So should I divide by four or should I
divide it by 4,
divide by 24 would be, wait, so if I divide this by 24, so that's four
it'll be
hours,
close to $500 an hour.
$500. If I want to work 4 hours a day, it's $500
Yeah.
per day kind of a thing.
So what most people understand is, for example, if you're cooking, you're losing money. If you're cleaning, you're losing money. If you're mowing your grass, you're losing money. If you're training your VAs, you're losing money. If you're doing anything that is not paying you $500 an hour, you are losing money and you will not make that $1 million a year. So
Mm,
what I do is, for example, I don't ever have to cook. I don't ever have to clean. I don't ever have to take care of the house. I don't do any of that shit. I have other people that do it for me. And then on top of that, so the if I want to get on a call with you, if you're not paying me that 500 or whatever I want to, charge, then you're costing me money. You understand? So that's where most people, it's like I train my VAs. Well, I hate to break it to you, but most SEOs suck when it comes to training. They might be good at SEO, but they suck at teaching. There's
mm,
there's a few people outside yourself, I would tell you, that are good at teaching. Chris Palmer being one in local SEO. I only know a handful that
mm.
actually do over the shoulder. Let me show you how to do this.
Yeah.
Let me show you my screw ups as well, not cleaning up
Oh
afterwards.
my God,
You
you hit
know,
it on the head. In my coaching program, we're doing that over the
yeah.
shoulder. Started it last week, and I told them we're going to go spectacularly great, or we're going to fall spectacularly. We're going to learn from that, right?
As
And
I'm saying,
people love that.
you're one of the few because most just don't do that. And they could be good, they could be great at SEO,
Yeah.
but not good at teaching. And most people, it's like, well, I want an A+ virtual assistant. Well, let me ask you something, Mr. Business Owner. Are you an A+ business
And
owner?
yeah, good point.
And half the time it's no. Half the time you have issues with virtual assistants. I will tell you that it's actually the business owner's fault. Like they'll come to me a lot of times and be like, well, here's my SOP. And I could name names, but the fact is, what happens is they come to you with an SOP. They don't have the exact steps. When I say exact steps, I mean go to Google Chrome, click it, open, type in this, log in. Here's login info. I mean, step by step by step. And then way I train them, I have that. Then I also physically walk them through it and let them see me do it. Then I have them do it in front of me. And then once they're done, I say, okay, now here's one, go do this, show it to me once you're done. If there's any mistakes, I correct them. I do that for a few, basically a week, and then they're good to go. But I have a complete SOP, which includes, not just a written SOP, a video SOP, and me walking them through it. And most people, they don't have it. They don't even have a complete written SOP, much less, everything else. I mean, especially try GMB verifications. You you need a written SOP, you need a video SOP, you need a walkthrough SOP. Then you need a brain to think about, well, what if all that shit don't work? And you got to figure out what's the problem? Why is Google not verifying this GMB right here? What's wrong with it?
VA office, where are you located in Manila? Where are you located?
No, I'm located in one of the provinces, which is Surigao City. I used to live in Pagadian City. I still have a house in Pagadian, but I live in Surigao City on the beach now. So
how far away are you from Palawan?
Palawan, that's towards more, well, we're in the south, but that's more towards the south. If I was to fly there, probably 2 hours.
The reason I ask is one of my VAs, her boyfriend's a real estate agent, and she's been asking me to invest in this. They're building this new condo by the university.
Oh yeah.
I don't know the rules of that because I'm a foreigner when it comes to
foreigners can own a condo 100%.
Okay.
You can't own land. Like, for instance, if you wanted to come over here and buy a condo, you wouldn't need to have you have a wife, obviously. But if you didn't have a wife, you wouldn't need a wife. Or if you have a wife, it wouldn't matter. Now, if you wanted to buy a piece of land, like in my case, I can't buy it by myself. It has my wife and my name on it. If we ever got a divorce, which will never happen, we would split it 50-50. Same as in the United States.
But the condo you can buy as a
condo you can buy straight up. We have 2 condos as well. So
yeah, I like she was showing me one of them where it's like a low down, like a $3,000 down, and then like $200 a month, and they're building it out for the next 24 hours or 24 months, and then you pay the remaining. And I want to look into that.
Yeah, we have one that's right across the street. It's the Golden Residences. It's right across the street from the Manila Airport.
I was actually thinking it could be a vacation home, and the rest of the time like an Airbnb, and it's by the beach.
That's what a lot of people do. They buy a lot of condos, turn them into Airbnbs. One of my personal assistants, or what we call SBA, he's in Manila, and that's what he does. He manages condos for people, foreigners a lot of times, or Filipinos that rent out their condo. Let's say you rent out long-term is basically $800, $900 a month sometimes, because this isn't a resort where I'm talking about, or nightly is about $100 a night. Now, if you went into, different areas, you can rent them for 2,000 pesos, basically $40 a night, but it's good money when you consider the fact that, you're not using it. It's just property sitting there. And that's why we got 2 condos there. And generally, whenever we fly in, we don't want to have to rent, so we wound up buying one. We actually rented one to begin with, and then once we liked it and we saw what it was like, okay, we wound up saying, "Hey, find us one." We were actually looking at a penthouse the other day because I was thinking about selling one of the condos to get a penthouse. And but
that's
yeah,
the beauty. That's the beauty of a lot of Americans here. They don't have the exposure to Asia and all these countries. I have it because I was born and grew up there. You have it because you've been living there. One of the guys in the mastermind, he's from Ireland, lived his whole life in Ireland, recently moved to Thailand. And he's like, oh my God, everything's cheap here. I'm like, not only cheap, there's so much culture out there.
Yeah, and like Thailand, the equivalent. Okay, so Philippines is good labor, beautiful beaches, beautiful women, culture, all that stuff, right? Bad part. Infrastructure isn't as good. Banking system isn't as good. That sort of thing. Now, if I go over to Thailand, beautiful women, beautiful places, infrastructure's good, still cheap. So that's why if you get Matt Diggity and all of them go over there, you got Chiang Mai, the whole SEO community over there. We're actually trying to start something like that in Manila too. That's why I started one of our Facebook groups is Manila SEO community, and which we're trying to start doing that in monthly meetups and stuff like that sort of thing. But depending on where you live at, like I have in one house, we have a generator. We want to put one over here. You'll have different issues. It's a little give and take, but a lot of Americans, for instance, will move over here to retire. I'm not one of them. I didn't move here to retire. I moved here because I was broke, but, a lot of them haven't been exposed to other countries, and that's why they think their country is the best. But then once you get to other countries, you're like, oh my God. I mean, like I can literally fly to basically 7,000 islands within an hour or two from where I'm at for like $100. And you can't do that in the States. If you wanted to go to, a nice resort, let's say that's in a tropical area, you're going to travel anywhere from 7 hours to 30 something hours, and you're just going to cost you $4 to $8 grand.
Really?
I
know everything about that. One of the reasons, of course, every time we go to Sri Lanka, right? And I go everywhere. I go to Sri Lanka, last time, Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, you name it. I love Asia. The food is awesome. All my health checkups and stuff is so much cheaper, right? I got family, obviously, right? I want to quickly pivot a little bit, William. One of the reasons I mentioned to you is I'm talking to people, interviewing them for this fundraising thing. And they can donate and listen to this, right? And I'll give away. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube, all of this, but they can donate a little bit and they can get something from me along with these videos. They get one of my free coaching, some important coaching. But then also for those who donate a little bit more, and I haven't come up with a number, I am twisting the arm. I'm going to put you on the spot and see, I'm asking everybody who I interview, is there anything that you can contribute, give away of value that, so instead of me just going to my audience saying, give me money because I support this orphanage, and I know everybody supports something, right? They have their own cause, they had. Is there anything that you can contribute, give away to people who donate a little bit more? I would really appreciate if you can do that, William.
Yeah, I mean, tell you what I could do. Normally, I charge $1,000 for the same coaching where I, in 90 days, went from 4 clients to over 50. Wow. I will give that coaching away, and it's $1,000 is what I normally charge for it. And that I literally will have calls with you and tell you step 1, step 2, step 3, and walk you by the hand to do it. So,
is it going to take your time? Because if 100 people get this,
nah. It doesn't matter to me. I do it already for agencies that outsource to us, because my goal is to A, get them to grow their agency, B, so they will then outsource to us.
I truly appreciate that. Yeah. I want to make sure. So what are they getting? Are they getting a video, or are they getting?
So no, this is actual time with me. This is me. That's me literally saying, here's a booking, here's a mentorship link. I mentor you. The 4 questions I always ask all mine, I'll give you a little hint, is what do you want? When do you want it? What are you willing to do to get it? What are you willing to give up to get it? And then I teach them not just, I don't really get into SEO. It's more, how do you get clients and the mindset that you need to run an agency? Out of the 1,000 books I have upstairs, 3 of them are SEO books. Most of them, I love your picture in the background, is on mindset and marketing. And, it could be anything from weight loss, but generally mindset, marketing, and sales. And so that's what I really teach.
And as part of that, you will also show them at least you teach them or show them how you went from 4 clients to 50 clients in 90 days that they can learn in that one-on-one call.
You got it. You got it.
Oh my God. You are an awesome guy, man, William. I appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate that. I have a Facebook group.
Yep.
Hey, we should do something together. Feel free to, I know you have so much of value, your VA services, to your coaching and all that. I would love to see how I can help you with that, right?
Yep.
Anything I can do to expose you and your services
Yeah,
to
I
them.
mean, just let me know, set a time, and then we'll do a
We'll
live
definitely do
together
something.
in your
Absolutely.
groups and my groups, that sort of thing. And then I know we've had you on GMB Pros with Alfredo too, the sauce.
Yeah.
And
And
but
next time
love,
you have the conference, would you have a conference next year?
yeah, we'll have one every year. We're gonna have one again probably around the same time, September, October. We're actually gonna be doing it different.
Okay.
Over here in the Philippines, we're gonna be doing smaller conferences and then one large conference like we already do at the end of the year around September or October. So we would love to have you again.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Yes.
I
I
know
would.
you had something come up with your family and
Yeah, I
everything.
had
So
an unfortunate
that's
family member pass away, so
yeah,
it was a bummer. It was crazy. It was,
yeah.
but
We're looking forward to you, but I was like, he's the man, and if
I
he'll
had
come back
prepared this
around.
rank and rent thing. One of the things was my
Yeah.
VA, um, being in the Philippines,
Yeah.
do the whole thing to make her
That's
$200 a month.
perfect, man, because the big one over here is people want to know not how I can be an agency owner, but just how can I get myself out of poverty? What if, I mean, yours is a prime example. I don't have to talk to clients. I don't have to face them. I don't got to do Zoom or none of that shit. But if I can rank something and then contact business owners and sell them,
Exactly.
you can make
That's a
very
recurring
good
thing.
money in rank and rent.
If you set it up properly, they're not asking ranking reports every month. Why did the
No.
keyword go up or go down? They
And
won't even.
people care. I've seen your screenshots. Is people care about leads and calls. They don't give a shit
Exactly.
about green geo
Exactly.
grids.
That is the thing.
You
I
know.
have, again, knock on wood, I have three, I'm big in three niche for rank and rent. I have a few others too, but there's a guy, he's been paying me $300 a month from April of 2015,
Yep.
right? I
It's a
don't know
lot
how
of fucking
how
money.
much.
It's like, well, almost $4,000 a year since 2015. So I mean, let's say 100 grand.
No. It's 40 grand,
Yeah,
40,000.
a lot.
But that's somebody in the Philippines or in Sri Lanka can do that. And that's almost a full-time income. Do two of those, and that's
Yeah,
passive full-time income. And you're not going to be
yeah.
sitting and doing nothing. You're going to be doing something to make more money
Well,
anyways.
most of them fly overseas, being OFW for $500 a
That is
month.
so true.
So
I know.
you're all they need is 2 or 3 of those, and they're making a lot more money than they would if they actually flew over the seas to go work for somebody in a contract. And what most people you become an OFW, you fly to another country like Dubai or Saudi, they take your passport, they take your phone,
I
and
know.
then you work for them. You're in a contract for 2 years, you have no life.
I
So
I know
that's
that.
the big thing. So if any of you guys are thinking about contributing to your, charity, I would definitely do it. And I'm glad to help in any way I can, Ganesh.
I appreciate that, William. Thanks again. We'll definitely be in touch. I'll reach out to you offline. So we know as in about 2 weeks, I plan to open this fundraising thing. So I'll know how many people, and I'll let you know, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Just let me know. I appreciate it, Ganesh.
Thank you, William. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you. Have a good one.
You too.